It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Line drop for the jackets, for the clothing that you're doing.
Yeah, so I've been doing BNBOYC, man. It's something I've been doing since about 2017, man. So it's been, a long time coming, and just with everything I got going on with like drum work and music and everything, I felt like, in order to bring more, awareness to the brand and stuff like that, why not do a collab? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I'm doing a collab with myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's cool that you can kind of focus on the music and your art and the creation side too. It's not like one takes priority over the other.
Right, exactly. That's what makes it dope, man. You know what I mean? And I'm able, like I was saying in the post, man, to just kind of express myself creatively. You know what I'm saying? Like in different ways. You know what I mean? Because I don't like to limit myself to anything.
Yeah. How'd you get into that?
Yo, to be honest with you, I failed every art class I had, like going to high school and shit. Like I never used to pay attention, and I always had like just a passion for art. And I love paintings, I love sculptures, I love just looking at art. You know what I mean, and just deciphering what it means to me. And I would go and visit all these different galleries and just different museums and things like that. And for the longest time, I never felt like I could do it personally because I felt like everything had to be like kind of like in realism. You know what I mean? Like if I can't draw your face exactly how it looks, then it's not right. But it took me being introduced to other artists and their perspectives and their takes on, on art and what art is, in order for me to say, okay, you know what, if I don't do it this way, I do it in the way that I do it. You know what I mean? And it really took me accepting that and, just being comfortable, man. And that was what really got me into it. It was just me being more comfortable with the person that I am.
Are you from Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm from the East Side.
It's crazy the amount of talent, whether it be art-wise, music, clothing, everything coming out of Buffalo. And you said did you start with like graffiti? Because your album, Asphalt Calligraphy, I wasn't sure if that was what you were talking about with that.
Word. So it kind of is like the title is kind of drawn to, it's basically when I was thinking about the title of the album, I wanted to make, high class, like fine art, but it's like writing, you know what I'm saying? So when I think about calligraphy, it's obviously an art form. And then I wanted to make it for the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in the suburbs of Buffalo. I grew up on the east side of Buffalo. 114 is tough. You know what I'm saying? And so with what I spit, like with my bars and everything, it's like upper echelon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I like to think about it. So it's like high class art for the street. That's the way that I was thinking about it. It's funny because my boy Camouflage Monk and a few of my other boys,
great
when
producer,
we were talking about the title of the album, they were telling me, "Yo, don't name your album Asphalt Calligraphy. Like, what does that even mean, bro? Like, don't do that." And come to find out, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was more than a year ago, but when I dropped the album and then now, like, people talk about it, they're like, "Yo, how did you even come up with that title? That shit is dope as hell." And I'm like, "Yo, I told my peoples I was dope. It was dope." And they wasn't messing with it at the time, but it's dope that, you know what I'm saying, people rock with the title.
Well, that's how I felt too about Subjective Humility. That's a great title too. Especially, I gotta give you a shout out. No congratulations. Listening to it now, especially, I don't know, like, how do you feel about that song now?
Man, it's crazy. When I made that joint, I was like, I was still working and shit like that. I was working a regular job. And I was on this work trip that I had to go on. I didn't want to be there. It was just a bunch of BS. And Mitch Arizona sent me the beat, and I was like, "Yo, this joint is crazy." And I wanted to make something where it was like, no congratulations. Like, I just wanted to repeat it, make it something that it'll like stick in your head. And so now, like looking back on it, it's dope because everything that I talked about in that song kind of manifested. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the fact that because when you're an artist and especially a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't really pay you attention like that. People don't want to hear your shit if you're not in the mainstream or if people don't already know your name, especially in Buffalo. It's extremely tough to break through here. So it's almost like you feel crazy. It's like, yo, I know I'm good, but it's like, damn, like don't nobody want to hear my shit, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's demoralizing. You feel what I'm saying? It breaks you down a little bit. So to make a song like No Congratulations and then to see everything just kind of happen the way that it happened is just like, man, it's the craziest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm blessed and I'm grateful.
You said, well, that album, Subjective Humility, that dropped in 2018, and you said you started the clothing and the art in 2017. But were you rapping you said it was hard to break through. You were rapping throughout your whole life?
So Subjective, just to kind of correct you real quick, Subjective Humility, it came out top of 2019, so it was January 23rd, 2019.
Okay.
But no, yeah, I've been making music, man, literally since I was about 12, 13 years old. But doing it seriously, like where, I dropped my first mixtape when I was 21.
Yeah, what made you drop that Subjective? What made you say this is going to be my first like major release on like streaming platforms, things like that?
I mean, Subjective Humility, that came after because I actually took a hiatus from music. I had moved out of Buffalo. I lived in Buffalo my whole life, and then I moved out of Buffalo. I kind of was like to the point where I was done with music because I had been trying to do it for such a long time, and I just wasn't as successful. What success looked like to me, I had never reached it. Mm-hmm. And I got frustrated, and I moved out of Buffalo, and I took a little break from music. And when I moved back to Buffalo, it was kind of like, I had the Brown Out Black, the BNBOYC thing. I had the idea of it. And I was like, there's no other rapper really that can tap in, to that side of creativity, or there's not any that really do it. The only one I could think of was Lupe Fiasco. And I said, man, why not give it one more shot? You know what I mean? Because now I have this idea of the BNBOYC thing. I have a little bit more life experience. I have different things that I can talk about. I know the direction that I want to go in. And so, I said, why not? You know what I mean? Like, let me just take one more shot. You know what I'm saying? Because I love it so much. It was like when I wasn't really making music, I still was kind of doing it. And I have such a passion for it. It's not even something that I do. It's like I tell people all the time, hip hop is what I am. It's not even what I do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so when it's just a part of you, I was like just naturally inclined to say, okay, you know what? Let me just give it one more shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where'd you move to?
I moved to Syracuse, so it was like 2 hours away. And I moved there trying to advance myself in my little bullshit job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they needed me to go out there and go work at a store out there and kind of turn it around because, I was like one of the best people. And so I went out there, just like, okay, I'm going to go work here so that I can advance myself. Now they'll say, okay, you know what, you did this, now you can move up to the next step. You know what I mean? And that wasn't what happened. It was actually funny, like all this stuff happened and behind me quitting that job, after or last year during the pandemic, like once the pandemic hit.
And then what made you move back to Buffalo and focus on music?
So in between me moving out there to Syracuse, I was there for a few months, and I had my daughter. So my daughter's mother is actually from Buffalo too, but she had came out and she had seen me, and whatever happened, and I had my daughter in between that. So once she was born, her name is Nas. This was in 2016. She moved. Her and her mom moved out there with me in Syracuse, and that relationship just went sour after a while. We're still on good terms. We're co-parents. Nas is like the greatest human being ever created. You feel me?
You show so much love to her in your music, and that's a really cool thing to see, especially like seeing her featured on tracks. And it is really an awesome thing to see the amount of love you give.
Nah, word, man. Because like, when I think about rappers and I think about what hip hop is, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just love, and you know what I'm saying? I want to be that artist, not so much that's like corny with it though, because I'm not a corny dude. You feel what I'm saying? But like I want to show other artists and I want to show people who listen to me that just because, you know, you grow up in a certain environment doesn't mean that you have to make music that's reflective of that. You know what I'm saying? You can still, because I have every reason in the book to not be the person that I am, but I'm still that person. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want to be a positive influence on others, especially the youth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what I actually really love about drum work is you and Love. You guys are so unique and have a different style. I mean, you were saying Lupe before, which is that where you draw inspiration from? Like who do you
Yeah, for
feel like
sure.
you
Lupe
draw?
Fiasco, man, he's like he's like the GOAT when it comes to lyrics. Nas, I named my daughter after Nas. I just added an extra A to her name so it'll be a little bit more feminine. But
Yeah.
the inspiration for my daughter's name is Nas the rapper.
Congratulations to Nas for getting the Grammy last night.
Yeah, word. Shout out
Yeah.
to Nas for that. But yeah, I mean, you got Lupe Fiasco, you got Nas, you got Black Star, like most anti-lib. I love them.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, obviously. You know what I'm saying? He's the GOAT. Man, Big Crit was really big, especially in those years where I was living in Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
He was helping me get through a lot. I actually met him. I rapped for him, man, one time out in New York, which was really dope.
How'd that
Man,
go? Because
it was really cool actually. I went to a show, just a quick backstory. I went to a show. It was in I believe it was in Manhattan. And I booked this hotel. It ended up being a hostel, so I had nowhere to stay. And so I ended up doing meet and greet tickets because I knew I had to meet Crit at the time. Like I was the biggest Big Crit fan in the world. And so I get these tickets, and so I had to make a decision. Either I would go to the show and not know where I was going to stay that night, or I was going to go figure out where I was going to stay that night and then go to the show, but I would have missed out on my VIP necklace thing. So I wouldn't have been able to meet him. So I said, you know what, man, I done traveled all the way out here. Fuck it. I'm going. I get there. You know what I'm saying? I wait out the whole show. Smoke Diz was there. There's a few other cast there. It was real dope. And so there was a line of people because a bunch of people purchased these tickets, and then obviously there was other people who just finessed.
Yeah.
I waited. I was the very last person. I think my day started that day because I had to go out there. I caught the bus out there instead of driving my car. I think my day started like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Got there, you know, watched the whole show. This was at like 11 o'clock at night. There was probably a line of like 150 people to meet, dude. And I'm standing there. I waited. I let people go in front of me. I was literally the very last person. I waited because I was like, yo, I don't want a picture. I want to rap for bro, like so bad. And so finally, it's like my turn. He's like, yo, you the last person. Like, thank you for waiting. I'm like, bro, like you know, you're a big inspiration. Like, yo, I don't even wanna like a picture with you. I just want to rap for you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, word? I'm like, yo, please, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a huge fan. Like, I just want you to hear me. And so you know, we're sitting there. Oh, my fault. I got a phone call.
No problem.
But you know, we're sitting there. He's like, okay, you know what? Give your phone to my security because I know this means a lot to you. He's like, he's gonna get it on video. And so, you know, I spit for him. It was amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? It was an amazing time. And he gave me some merch. And I gave him a copy of my CD signed. At the time, it was actually it was my street album. It's called In Search of Symmetry. You know what I'm saying? That came out in 2013. So I gave him one of those, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna see you when you're on top. So, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to be here now. You know what I mean? Because I can't wait to run into him. Like, yo, you remember me?
That is, yeah. And you have to wait for that moment. You know, it'll come because the universe works that way. You know, you will.
Exactly.
But that's awesome to hear that story and to hear that, like, you're a fan. Like, not anyone would do that.
I'm a fan before any and everything, like, especially when it comes to even, like, you know, Conway. It's sometimes where, you know, because I'm around him a lot now, but it's sometimes where, you know, where I may be, you know, listening to a song that he just recorded. He's asking me, like, yo, what you think about this? I'm like, bro, you Conway the Machine. What you talking about? This is amazing. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He tells me stuff, you know, like, yo, I was feeling that. Like, how did you come up with that? And that, again, like, because I'm such a fan, it takes me there because before all that, like, I'm 31 years old. I've been listening to music since I was 12, 13 years old and knowing what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So before everything, I'm a fan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how I feel. Like, fuck, like, I know I say it all the time on this podcast, but to you, like, I knew all the words to The Predator by Ice Cube when I was like 4 or 5 years old. That's what I was playing growing up. I saw Wu-Tang Clan when I was 12. Like, I just grew up. And with Conway, like, that's why I love drum work, and I love that he signed artists that are different, is like, I saw Conway in Boston, and I waited. I was the last one, and I told
Yeah,
him I was a stand-up, and he was like, "Oh, word!" Like I was out at the Comedy Store a couple of years ago, and he
mhm.
was there the same day I performed stand-up the first time ever, and it was just
That's
like
crazy.
it was cool to meet on a fan level, but like I get that feeling when it's like you're a fan before anything. Like
Right,
it's the love of it before like what can you do? You know what I mean? That's not what
right.
it's about. It's about the love of the art and the craft.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that kind of shows, through the music because I care so much about it. I'm not just gonna make anything. I'm not just gonna put out anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everything that I do is like, okay, I'm calculated about it. I wanna make sure that I'm representing not only myself, not only my city, not only me, not only my family, my friends, everybody. I want to make sure that I'm representing hip hop in the correct way. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah, and well, it showed with your first two releases. I mean, you said you had mixtapes before, but your first two like albums, you were like you were doing it. That was before. When did you sign to Drumwork? How did that come around?
Man, so I signed. If you want like the full story, I can give you the full
Yeah,
story. But I
I
signed.
would love to hear the full story.
Word. So the story is actually crazy. I have a lot of crazy stories, not just the crit one, but I'll give you the quick summarized version of what happened.
No, you can get.
So,
We have time. You can give me the
okay,
story. I
okay,
want to
word,
hear this. I'm excited.
word. So I mentioned earlier I was working this job. Now the job that I was working, I've been working in sneakers. So you hear it in the bars. I always talk about kicks and shit.
Yeah.
I had been working in sneakers for 14 years, but I worked at this one store for almost 10 years. And so the COVID hit, pandemic, I was on furlough from my job. About 3 months into it, they called me back to the store, told me, get ready to open up. The store got looted after, the whole George Floyd situation.
Hmm.
And so I'm in there, I'm cleaning up, and the store, basically the company, they didn't want to provide security, and I had some other stuff happen at the store. So I was put in a situation where I had to either A, go for what they were saying, you know what I mean? And at the time, it felt like, they just didn't care about us as human beings. That's
Yeah.
really what it felt like.
Hmm.
Or B, I could have left and, just figured it out. And again, because I had been there for so long, it was a hard decision for me because, I didn't want to just leave without, having another source of income. Where the pandemic is going on, I got a 4-year-old daughter, you know what I'm saying? That it just didn't
Yeah.
make sense. But one thing I told myself was that I was going to start following my heart. And so I made the decision to leave. And this was on a Friday. This was, I want to say it was like June 18th or something like that of last year.
Mhm.
And so I leave, and 2 days later on that Sunday, Conway hits me up, Facebook Messenger, and he tells me like, yo, I'm getting ready to start this label. I think like you're like the dopest in the city. What do you think about, you know what I'm saying, possibly signing the drum work? I'm like, bro, do you know, like, first of
Did you
all,
know
me
him
and
before
Conway,
this? Did you know
huh?
him before? Did you know
No,
them
no, me
before?
and Conway, like, I knew who he was.
Yeah,
He knew
yeah.
who I was. Our conversations never lasted more than a minute because Conway is not a people person, especially if you don't
Hmm.
know him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He doesn't talk to people like that. He's not that type of person. And so I always knew him from the hip hop scene here in Buffalo, and vice versa. We did a show in 2016. It was on Halloween actually, and he invited me to come do that. But we had never really had like a relationship or really a rapport outside of that, for real.
Yeah.
And he hits me up and he said, he's saying this, and I'm like, yo, bro, I just quit my job 2 days ago. Like, yes, I'm like, whatever opportunity you're talking about, I'm with it. And so I didn't hear back from him. This was in the beginning of summer. I didn't hear from him again until the night from King to a God came out. He wanted me to pull up to his crib. And so, I went the whole summer. I was really just on my art, on my painting, working my brand and stuff like that. And then that was when I made the decision to drop Asphalt Calligraphy. And so he calls me over. He's like, yo, I want you to come through. He had a bunch of people there. We listened to the album. He performed some of the songs for us. He was just talking about the album, things like that. He played God Don't Make Mistakes for us. And I was getting ready to leave. And he's like, yo, I'm still rocking with you. Start, pulling up to my house, come record. Okay, cool. So this is, mid-December, September. It gets to be October. So I was, coming to his house, recording, stuff like that. And then his assistant hits me up in October, and he's like, yo, we're in New York right now. Conway said, if you can get here, then, pull up. If not, don't worry about it. So I text Love the Genius. As soon as I get that text, I'm like, yo, Love. He said, pull up. We gotta go. I'm like, yo, let's go. Like we taking my truck. So
you guys so you and Love knew each other beforehand.
I've known Love. Me and Love made a song in 2009.
Oh shit! So you guys really know each other.
When I was recording, literally, I have a video on YouTube right now when I used to record in my closet. The song is called Grinding. It's featuring Camouflage Monk, who used to go by G5GI. She actually came to that crib and me and her recorded a song there. So we've known each other for 10 plus years.
Oh, damn. I'm going to have to check that song out, but that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Right. And so I hit her up. I'm like, yo, we taking my truck. We're going. So we get an address. We go to this address. And the address he gives us is to the cutting room in Manhattan. It's like this ill-ass studio. We go inside. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we about to do. This is on like a Monday. Mm-hmm. We're looking around. We go inside. We get inside the studio. It's, Big L plaques. It's Most Def, Shrek. And me and her have never been inside a studio like of this caliber. So off the rip, we're like, yo, where are we at and what's going on? Like, this is crazy. And so, we go inside and Conway is working. It's just a beautiful studio. And he comes out, he greets us. He's like, yo, I'm glad y'all came, because if y'all wouldn't have came, that would have told me everything I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? And basically meaning like, it was a test. And so, we're sitting there and he's recording. We're just like in awe because we like, yo, this is our first time really being around Conway and like him recording and listening to him rap over some beats that we never heard. Like, this is crazy. So he comes out, a couple, he's going back and forth, but he comes out maybe like an hour or two later. He's like, all right, well, yo, y'all got stuff y'all want to record? Like, why don't y'all get in there and go record some? I'm like, yo, like, all right, like, so, I have some material. Love has some material. Me and her did a song together. So mind you, this is all in the same day. Then it got later in the day, and like Hovain and B. Maul, like all these names, like Smoke Dizzle pulled up, K Slay pulled up, Sheik Luch pulled up. Like, it's all, and this is all on the first day. And he's like, yo, Conway's like, yo, play them songs y'all did early. Like, let them hear. So it was like he was really tested. You get what I'm saying? And it really just put on the spot. And we kind of passed the test. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of crazy, but we kind of passed the test. And from there, we did like we went to Miami with him. We went, down to the A. We did the title show. We did a song, Each Me in Love. It was just dope. And so, it was kind of like, it was just a series of tests to see if we were really serious. And so, like I just told you, I quit my job. I was, just getting by on my brand and getting by on, little stuff I was doing here and there. So, it was kind of like my back was kind of against the wall at the time. And I kind of had to make rap, my priority and like the thing that I had to take the most serious. Yeah. And so, that led to me in January, signing my deal. So, that's like the summarized version of it. It was, it's a lot more that goes into it, but that's pretty much like the summarized version of how I got signed to Drumwork.
That's an insane story. And it's also a cool story. You say that these things just happen to you. Have you ever read The Alchemist? Like, do you know about like omens and shit and how like, life works like that? Like,
yo, listen, so I didn't even touch on this. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm straight edge. Mm-hmm. And I stopped drinking December 8th, 2019. And the thing that I think about the most now, and I noticed this recently, when I got to that studio in October with Conway that first time, when we got there, you know what I'm saying, because Conway drinks, you know what I'm saying, he does this thing, he smokes, whatever. Yeah. When we got there was bottles, you know what I'm saying, in the studio. Henny, Douce, whatever you wanted was there. You get what I'm saying? And I was the type, man, when I would get nervous, I would just fucking throw them back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the thing that I think about the most is, now, man, if I would have never stopped, because when I stopped drinking, I stopped cold turkey. I just stopped. And I had been drinking since I was like 15. And I just thought, like, straight up just stopped. And I was just thinking that, like, man, like, if I would have been in the same situation and still been, you know what I'm saying, using alcohol, I probably would have sat there and got drunk and wouldn't have made those songs that I made, and probably would have fucked up my opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I think about it like, man, like, all this shit was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether me quit alcohol because it wasn't something that was good for me was, you know what I'm saying, part of the story, or maybe it happened because of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, it's ill. It's super ill.
What was the reason that you went sober, you went cold turkey?
Yo, you know how everybody always say they had that one night where, you know what I'm saying, oh yo, they wake up the next day, damn, yo, I ain't never drinking again.
Yeah.
I had one of them nights. I had 3 islands, and I woke up the next day, and I felt like I got into a street fight with like 5 different cats, and they whooped my ass. Like I felt like I was on my deathbed that day. I might have needed to go to the hospital. I think I had alcohol poisoning, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm not drinking no more. It's funny because my homegirl came over that same day. She bought me some Tylenol, some Gatorade. I was sitting there. I'm like, yo, I'm not drinking no more. And she was like, you not gonna drink no more? I'm like, yo, it's over. She was like, nah, let's go get some wine. Da, 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 da. Like, nah. And then it started from there, and I just haven't drank since. And you know, it's been a lot of different things in my life that have happened since then that kind of showed me like, nah, this is the path you need to stay on. Because I mean, it's easy for me to go to the liquor store, go get, you know, whatever I
Yeah.
want. You know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah.
like I said, Conway teased me all the time. Like, yo, you ain't going, I got this Ace of Spades. You ain't gonna drink none of this Ace of Spades. You know what I'm saying? I got the Douce. Like, nah, bro. But you know, he commends it at the same time because you know he says like, yo, like you're a very strong-minded individual. You know what I'm saying, for that,
Yeah,
because temptation is always there. You know.
yeah, not that it's I used to drink more, but I don't drink a lot anymore, and I do smoke, but I'm 3 years off tobacco, and that was the thing
Right.
that I would like smoke so many blunts, and like I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it really did affect me. Like it affected me. So having a strong will and like keeping off that, and you said like you could have got drunk that night, and none of that shit would have
None
happened.
of it would
Like
have happened. None of it
yeah,
would have happened.
what did you record? Did you ever release anything you recorded that first night?
Um, no. Mm-mm. That first night I did this song. It's actually, man, I can't even actually tell you about it. But it's like one of them joints. It's like one of those real special moments in hip hop. And I'm not just saying it just because, like, it's special. It's a special joint. And man, I can't wait for it to come out. If you think about Nas, I Gave You Power, where
Yeah.
he like personified the pistol, it's along those lines. You know what I'm saying? It's a story. It's crazy.
How does it feel like having to wait on that, like waiting on a song that you feel so passionate about?
You know what's crazy? I kind of like it and I kind of don't. And the reason why I like it is because it allows me to, like, once you make a song, because I've made a few other songs now where, you know, it makes that song feel small. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it allows you to say, okay, you know what, I made this, but it's not time for it to come out yet. So now I still have time to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the things that Conway asked us that first day was, do you think you've made your best song yet? And I couldn't answer the question, and Love said no. And he was like, well, that's a good thing because, you know, you should never feel like you made your best song because you can always be better. So the reason why I don't like it though is because I'm used to, you know what I'm saying, being an independent artist where it's like, okay, you know what? I feel good today. Like, let's just put it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But another reason why I like it though is because now I have, you know, a team of people who are behind me and who are with me that can help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're not gonna drop the song now because we need to do this, this, and this. And then when we do drop it, we need to do this, this, and this and get the most out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, is that why you like your clothing line and having it be like one of one pieces? Is because that kind of is like you're in control of that.
Right, exactly. That's the thing that I really love about you know, the contract that I signed and with BNBLIC, like my merch. I mean, I have Jae Skeese, I'm gonna have Jae Skeese drum work merch, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm still like an artist who can collab with myself. You know what I mean? And then two, anything I want to do like associated with Brown Not Black, Live Your Creed, like that's 100% me. That's my LLC. That's my business. And Conway respects that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you going through your thing. Like, that's how you make your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever want to go? You have so many great bars about shoes, and you can tell you love shoes. You just said do you want to go into that too, like making your own shoes, that style of merch? I know you do like hand painted shoes and stuff.
Right. I mean, if the opportunity ever presented itself, I would never turn that down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could get my own shoe You know what I mean? Like that would be like that's something I can't even fathom right now because you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
But think
You
about where
know,
you're at now, and you couldn't fathom that probably like 2, 5, 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
I couldn't fathom where I am a year ago because I didn't know what was gonna happen. So
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, again, if like the opportunity ever presented itself, you know, obviously I would take full advantage of it because I love shoes, I love sneakers, I love fashion, and I just love to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I do, I just love it to be different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hell yeah, I would love to, definitely.
What's the story behind Stefan Diggs and Crack in the 90s? Because those are two of my favorites. Like those, both of those are fucking killer.
Word. So crack in the 90s. So I'll tell that story first. So um we knew that we were doing the title show and we knew that Conway was doing the deluxe. We just didn't know if like me and Love, speaking of us, we didn't know if we were gonna be on the deluxe. And we were talking about it a lot, like, damn, like, yo, if he puts us on the deluxe, like we gonna be lit, like that would be fire. And one day, randomly, I get a text. Now, his assistant's name is Chad. You know what I'm saying? You may hear him talking about him on like his lives and stuff like that. His name is Chad. Chad texts me, and it's a audio file. This is on a random like I think it was like a Tuesday at like 11 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Yo, Conway wants you to write to this. It's for the deluxe. Make sure you get it done. We recording it tomorrow. Like, so instantly when I read the text, I instantly get anxious. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
because you're like,
bro?
damn, this is a quick turnover.
Right. Because it's like at this point, this was in December. And so at this point, you know, I had been around and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm repping drum work, but it's like, you know, we hadn't signed any contracts yet. And,
Yeah.
you know, just stuff wasn't in stone yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh man. He was like, you know, you and Love both gonna be on it. So automatically I'm thinking like, okay, Love is gonna be on it and Conway is on it. I gotta come out. So I think I started writing at like 11 o'clock at night. I didn't go to sleep until like 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So, you
It
know,
shows
I
in the
really,
verse. You kill that verse. You kill that
word,
verse.
thank you. You know, I wanted it to be ill. And so, you know, we get, you know, to the studio and we're recording and, you know, Conway's okay, you know what I'm saying, you go. Cause actually he actually wanted to go first. And I said, you know, I'm gonna go. And I got up, I recorded my shit, and everybody in the room like, man, what the fuck, like, bro. And then Love gets up, and so she's like, okay, you know what, I gotta keep writing. Like she heard my shit, she was like, okay, I'm gonna keep writing. She writes her shit, she spits her shit, and it was just like, bro, like,
There's
yo,
so, there's
she
so
left
many
her
bars from you guys in that. All three
right,
of you, but you two especially, you know, like that was
yeah.
a good drum work together song. That song fucking killed.
Right. It embodied like what drum work is going to be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it was like the perfect way to introduce us. I don't know how he thought of that or why, but that was like the perfect way to introduce us. And then Rock Marciano killed the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a different beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Are
it
you
was
a gamer?
really
Shout
dope.
out your Metal Gear Solid bar. Are you a gamer?
Yeah, word. Salute. I'm actually not even a gamer. I don't even play the game anymore. I got an Xbox like S1 or whatever it's called, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
even play the game anymore. I used to be real into games, and Metal Gear Solid was one of my favorite joints. And I always said, like, you know what I mean? Like once I get on, you know, Revolver Ocelot was gonna be one of my aliases because, you know what I'm saying, Revolvers don't jam up. They just keep spitting, and that's how I am. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but so Stefan Diggs was actually a track that we weren't even planning on doing together. We were in Atlanta and we were actually going to do Title the next day. So this was on that Thursday. And we were sitting there. I think that morning Conway got up at like 9 o'clock in the morning and he was just playing the beat, like literally just playing the beat over. And like I think he listened to it for like 4 hours. Or whatever. He was trying to like write and it was just playing. And you know, you get to a point, it's like, bro, I'm a rapper. I'm about to actually write some shit to this. And hopefully if he fucks with it, I can put it on here.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, you know, he's doing his thing. And finally he got like his verse together. And I'm not saying like it took him a long ass time, but the beat was just playing all morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he spitting his verse and shit. I see him over in the corner. I'm like, yo, bro, I got a hook for this joint. You know what I mean? Yo, listen real quick. And so he, you know what I mean? I spin the fly elegance. And then I'm seeing him as I'm rapping it for him. He's like, yo, that shit sound high. He was like, yo, I'm gonna record my shit. Record that after that. So, you know, I go, we recorded, we in the living room, recorded that shit. And you know, we listened to it afterwards. I put some ad-libs on it. He was like, yeah, this shit is fire. He was like, yeah, you on this. Like, bet. So that was kind of how it came together. I wasn't even supposed to be on the song. It just came together that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's a great track. You guys, it matches perfect. And that's
Word.
cool that it shows that like it comes together in the time. You know, like you said, you have to be ready for things like when they come. Like the Crack in the 90s, you were sent that the night before that. You just were listening to the beat all morning, and you're like, and then when those songs drop, how do you feel? Like, was that your first like kind of being noticed on a large scale?
Yeah, for sure. Those were like the two biggest songs that I've ever been on. I have I know you heard Subjective Humility, so I have like Mickey Fax on the one song with me, which was really cool.
Great song,
yeah, thank you. On Broke State of Mind. But
how did that track come together?
You know what's funny? My boy had actually hit me up and he was saying, because he follows Mickey Fax on Twitter, and he was saying like, you know, he's doing features right now, whatever, and it was like shorts, you know what I'm saying, to get him on the track. And so I just hit him up and he was cool about it, like, you know what I mean, and we made it happen. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much what it was, and it came together dope. Like, he killed his verse.
Yeah, he did. He really did. Yeah.
Word. So that was how it came together. But outside of that, man, I had never been, like, I've opened up for people. I've done shows and, you know, I've been places and done shows and stuff like that. But I had never really been on a track as big as that. Like, bro, this is Conway the Machine. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
and you're on 2 tracks of the deluxe, which is like, you're on a third of that whole, you know, the whole deluxe.
For a fact. So that was like, it was big. It was like, I remember when it came out that day, I was just so pumped to even go on Tidal and like read my name after his name in the credits. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that definitely took me there. I'm not even gonna lie.
Did you ever think music would be your thing? Like, did you take it seriously enough that you thought, like, looking back, you're like, damn, like, I can't believe I'm here. You're like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be here.
I think, man, really being like I said, man, I talk about the East Side a lot. Being from the East Side of Buffalo, man, you just don't get. It's a lot of opportunities you don't get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just. I'm not saying that it's like the absolute worst place in America, but the mindset of people paired with where you are geographically, it's just tough. You know what I'm saying? And so I always had a lot of hope, because like the reason why I started making music was because, you know, when my father passed, I was 10 years old, and music was a way that I kind of it was just like an outlet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I started making music with my boy, and we had formed a group, and I just always loved it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a way for me to just express myself. But I always like felt like it was a chance, because I knew I was good. Like, you know what I'm saying? In terms of music, I knew I could spit. I knew that I had a talent, because a lot of people older than me would tell me that all the time. Like, yo, you talented, bro. Don't ever stop. So I knew that, but being like where I am, I always envisioned myself like being signed to, like, you know, Dreamville or something like that. I never really saw myself, you know, being signed to like Conway or, you know, West Side Gun. I never saw that. Never in my future. But I always knew that there was a chance, because I knew I had talent. But talent is only really a fourth of what you need to even be in this position now.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
the ticket
saying?
to
Like,
play. Yeah, it's the ticket to play. It's all the other stuff on top of it.
But that's like why I'm so grateful for Conway, because he could have signed anybody. He could have went and found people from Indianapolis or anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
he chose to give an opportunity like this to me and Love, who are from the same part of the city that he's from. It's not a big city. You know what I'm saying? But he recognized the talent, and he's got a vision. So, you know, I just appreciate it, because like I said, I knew that there was a chance, but I didn't know how it was gonna come or where it was gonna come from. So
Well, it seems like Buffalo, there is a lot of talent, especially now. Like Buffalo's getting a lot of shine, especially for not like a major city. The amount of talent coming out of there now is
mhm.
cool. And so I was in Buffalo for the Buffalo Kids gallery opening. Actually, I ran into you at the mall, but it was just a quick passing. But
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. But I was talking to like, like Go to Mars, or I was over at Struggle Clothing. It is crazy the amount of all the, whether it be music, art, uh clothing out of Buffalo, but it's still hard, I bet, but it does seem like there's a lot of talent out of the city.
Yeah, nah, there's so many talented artists that I know of that I grew up with that I still look to for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many talented cats. And I think the thing is, like I always say, like Buffalo is like the hyperbolic time chamber. Like, you know what I'm saying? You stay here and you hone your skills, and then once you get out into the world, it's like shit, you ready to take over the world because it's so hard to like, survive here. Everybody know everybody. People get murdered. People, man, there's a dude, I think I'm the same age as him. I just seen him on Facebook 2 days ago. Homie got murdered. Like I saw it yesterday on Facebook. Saw him on Facebook on, what was that, Saturday, just
Shit.
talking. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how he just changed his life. Somebody
Fuck.
clapped him. Somebody just clapped him. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to the homie.
Rest
But
in peace.
it's tough, bro. Like it's extremely tough to do your thing here. So, it's like, man, all the artists, it's a lot of artists from here that are extremely talented and they have the drive. It's just we've never really had the opportunities, you know what I'm saying? So thank God for, you know what I'm saying, West Side and Conway and Benny and Derringer, because without them, without their drive and their hustle, I wouldn't be a possibility. Like Jae Skeese wouldn't have fans in Japan and fucking New Zealand and Australia. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That
Uh-huh.
wouldn't be a possibility.
Well, you fit in with the Buffalo sound, but you do have a different style. Like your inspirations and the way is different. Did you feel like you didn't have a place like when you were starting off, or did you always fit in with the Buffalo scene?
You mean like as far as like drum work or just like period?
Just period.
Just period. I always felt like I had a place because I was like one of the people, like even before all this drum work stuff, I was always one of them cats. Like I would throw ciphers. You know what I'm saying? I would like those ciphers at my job. I would throw ciphers at the New Era store downtown. I was like one of the cats that, like, everybody knew I was dope. Everybody knew who I was, you know what I'm saying, in the town, but it was just like I just never had that shot. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was gonna happen. Like you talk to anybody that know hip hop in Buffalo, they'll tell you, yo, Jay Skid, he was like he was gonna do it. It's like just nobody knew when or how. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It happened, but just nobody knew when or how. So like I always felt like I fit in, but I always felt like you know what I mean? Like I bought a different element, like you said, like I just
Mhm.
got a different style. I'm not, talking about how I shoot people or how I flip drugs and shit like that, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the case, because that wasn't my life. You feel me? I did dabble in certain shit for, you know what I'm saying, a period of time when I was growing up, but I was always smarter. I was always smart enough to know that that wasn't what I needed to do in order to get forward in life. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people like just in the town period, but I know there's people in the world also that A, can benefit from a message like that, and B, there's people who empathize with that too, because I know plenty of people who've gone from being a street dude, or you know what I'm saying, being in the streets, to, you know, shit, just living chill, like, you know what I mean, and just having ambition and drive to do something better. So
Yeah.
that was like that's why I changed my style, because when I was younger, my favorite rappers was like Lloyd Banks and like, Jay-Z, and they was on that
Mhm.
type of time. Like, you know what I mean? Like they was talking about drugs and they was talking about guns and, what I'm saying, different things. And it sounded cool. So that's why I would rap about it. But then when you really start to think about, like I was just saying, like homie who got murdered, the other day, when you really start to sit back and think about what is being said on these songs, especially stuff that you hear in the mainstream, you listen to, it's I'll give one example, and it's not no shade, but letting Dej Loaf, let a nigga try me,
Yeah.
I'm whole motherfucking family. it's catchy as shit. It sounds good. But think about what that really is. Like, think about what you're saying right now. You got little 4-year-old, 5-year-olds running around saying this shit.
Yeah.
And when somebody really get killed in real life, how did that really feel?
Yeah, it's not the same as like the song that's being played that's teaching
Right.
that shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So, it's like it all sounds good, but words really have real energy. Words is really like that shit is real. You feel
Yeah.
me? So it's bigger than just saying something to get a check or just saying something because it sounds cool. At
Mhm.
least to me. You know what I'm saying? I say shit on my records and I preach my message because I know that words is real. I know the energy is real. And I like to give that positive message to people, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
yo, you never know. Like life is like a cycle. I don't know if you heard Canadian shits, but life is really a
Yeah.
cycle. And you know what I'm saying? What you get, what you put out. You feel me? So if you being negative, you know what I'm saying, you just constantly just in a lower vibe or lower vibrational state, that's what you're gonna get back. You feel
Yeah.
me? But you put out positivity, man, you put out good, that's what you're gonna receive. And that's what I want to receive. Feel me?
And that's what I love about, you and Love is like you are from Buffalo, but you got a different mess. Not that I love all of the like that's my favorite city in rep. There's a reason I drove from Boston up there for the gallery, but like you have a different lane to say your message or say what you want to say, and it really works.
Right.
What?
And the thing I was gonna say, the thing was, I don't know what your question was gonna be, not to cut you off, but the
No
thing
problem.
was, the reason why I like once I figured out that that was gonna be my message, because I started really talking about those type of things in like 2016ish, and that was when Griselda was starting to break through. So I
Yeah.
always knew that if like from that point, I knew if I could convey that type of message, it would be like a complete 180 from Griselda, right? So
Hmm.
either people would either gravitate towards it or they would run away from it.
Yeah.
And that's already happening. Like I look at Reddit and I look at YouTube and I look at Instagram. I read all the comments. I see what they say, Twitter too. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And it's one of two things. People either love it or they absolutely hate it. But the good thing is it's positive. So there's more people who love it than people who hate it, and they respect the fact that it's different. Like when
Yeah.
I see different people talking about me and like what I bring to the table, it's always he's different as opposed to just trying to fit in with what Griselda is. And it just shows a different element of Buffalo period to the world, because we're still like an untapped, like like it's like full of untapped potential.
Yeah.
So with that, it just, I feel like it makes me like there's no way that I can fail because I'm just different.
Yeah, and it is cool. You said like being at the gallery opening, seeing all the people there to support, like what 1,500 people I heard were there. It's like it is an untapped potential, but it shows that there is like support and like a love for what is happening and what's going on.
No, seriously, man. Like when because I walked down, going back towards the other side of the mall a few times, like walking alongside the line.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know that I learned is that people know who I am. Like not from being from Buffalo, not what I'm saying, knowing me around the town, not from working at the same store. No, people know Jae Skeese. And so when I was walking through, it was, oh shit, it's Jae Skeese. Oh yo, sign my hoodie. Yo, I got your vinyl with me. Yo, sign my vinyl. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Can I get a picture
Yeah.
with you? When I like that last weekend, that took me there, bro, because I had never experienced that before.
Hmm.
This is all new. So man, it was really crazy. But to feel that love and to know that it's really there is like an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Well, what's up next for you, and what made you choose Suede Uppers as your first, drum work single? Because I love that song. You kill that
Word,
track.
word.
That's one of
Thank
my
you.
top
Thank you.
played right now. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Well, to answer your first question, Suede Up, or your second question first, Suede Uppers, I chose it for two reasons. The first reason was when when I made Suede Uppers, it was, to me, it was just like an amazing, amazing song. Like there's no hook. I'm just rapping, but it's
Hmm.
like kind of like my story all kind of wrapped in one. And then it pushes, that whole, like, I want people to know that I'm about, sneakers. I love getting fly. I love people to know my story. And I also love people to understand that I'm really tied in with art. but I'm also lyrically like upper echelon with it too. You feel me? So it kind of culminated all those different things into one song. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the artwork, it's, you know, you're looking at like almost like the universe, and you know, just the path at the bottom, and there's a guy at the bottom. It's almost like he's about to take that step into his path, and but when you're looking at it through a keyhole.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a look through the keyhole at my story. Let me bring you into my world real quick. And the hummingbird is there. That's for my granny, man. I miss my granny. You know what I'm saying? That's my heart. So, you know, I had to throw on the first, you know, big single of my life.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was the reason for Suede Uppers. And then on the other side of it, it was also produced by one of my best friends, Mitch Arizona. I've been making music with Mitch Arizona since 2009, and he's like supremely talented. He's a great producer. He's, you know what I'm saying, just a great person. So, you know, what better way to, you know, also, you know, bring in my first single than to have one of my best friends produce it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was important to me, you know what I'm saying, because I felt like, you know, I've always told him like, yo, we gonna do it, you know what I'm saying, together. And he was always like the type, like, you know what I'm saying, like he knew, but he also knew, like, you know what I mean, like we kind of need each other, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Either he was gonna break through or I was gonna break through. But I always told Mitch, yo, whatever happens, bro, like we gonna do this shit. We gonna do it together. So that was the reason for that. And then what's coming up next, man? We got mad work going on, man. We record, you know what I'm saying, music all the time. You know, right now I'm focused on finishing up my album. It's sounding crazy.
I'm so excited to hear that. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's different. It's on, like, if I can give you a little insight to my album, like I was again, I told you I read comments, and you know what I'm saying, I go to Twitter and I check out.
Does that hurt you sometimes? I feel like reading comments, like, I don't know, it takes up a certain amount of brain space that isn't good for me sometimes.
It does. It really does, but it's good. It's good for some reasons, but to be honest, I don't really let it hurt me. I really, because there's some people who don't like my music and don't like, you know, what I talk about. They don't like my style, or, well, why isn't he rapping like Conway, or why doesn't he rap like Let It Genius? It's because I'm me. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, I go and I look, you know what I'm saying, to get the inspiration. You feel what I'm saying? To get to see, you know, different things. And there was a lot of different things being said at first, before Suede Uppers, but since Suede Uppers, you know, it's been a lot more positive. But there was one thing that kind of stuck out to me, and I just didn't want people to put me in a box. You feel me? And when you listen to my album, like, I gotta go link with Conway today so we can play it. But when you hear my album, I don't have a specific style. I'm really just telling my story in different ways all throughout the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really like my story of who I am. The album is called Abolished Uncertainties. So that's the name of the joint. But yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Like,
you have great titles. You have the 2-word,
two words.
You have the specific, they all match. They all work. I love that. Yeah.
It started with Subjective Humility. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna start just like, you know, I like the way that came together. And then, you know, I've just been doing that ever since. But yeah, like, you know, that's what's up next, man. Just, you know, working on this album.
When are you looking to drop that?
Say it one more time.
When are you looking to drop that?
Man, hopefully early summer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm blessed enough before then, but, you know, we'll see what happens.
Who's on it? Who do you have on it? Like, whether production or
production wise, Mitch Arizona is on there. So far, I got a few other producers that I work with, but it's mainly Mitch Arizona.
That's awesome that you guys can do that together.
Word, yeah, for real. Like, you know, again, it's like, that's my boy. So it's like, you know, anywhere I go, I'm trying to bring him with me. So,
well, that's,
you know,
great. Your label doesn't like interfere so much that, like, no, you got to work with the people we want you. It's like, no, this is the person that I built a relationship with.
They definitely do suggest certain people. And, you know, Conway, he's had a few beats like, yo, I want to hear you on this, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, can you, you know, write to this? But that's a good thing about drum work. And that was made clear from the jump. It was kind of like, you know, you can be yourself. We don't want to sign you and then turn you into something that you're not, because the reason why we signed you is because you're you.
Yeah.
So that's what's dope about it. but yeah, I mean, I got Mitch on there. I got Cartoon Beats on there. He's another producer that I kind of ran into after I got signed, and he has some great production. A few other cats. Trizzy Williams is on there.
Okay.
He's actually, I believe he's gonna be on he's on Conway's album, on the Shady album though, I believe.
Okay.
So he's got to be on there. And then in terms of like features, I mean, obviously I got Love the Genius on there. Right now I don't have Conway on there, but you know, obviously he's gonna jump on something. I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we'll see what happens, but nah, he should be on
Yeah.
there. I got Mitch, I mean not Mitch Arizona, he's not rapping, but I got Origino, he's a singer from the town.
Okay.
I got Jillian Hainsworth, she's a poet. She's gonna be on a track, and that's all I got so far. It's really me on there.
Yeah. Well, that's
You know
what
what I'm saying?
you stand out on your projects with your storytelling and your, you know, it is storytelling. You like you say that you're trying to tell your story and it comes across in the music.
Right. No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You were saying about the 2-word albums, and I just have the quick question is you have on Asphalt Calligraphy, it says The Art Dealer on the top. Was that the other name you were gonna go by?
No, so Art Dealer is actually it's a collective. It's me, you got Tony Boy, and then you got Camouflage Monk. And there's some other people that are kind of involved with it as well. Brett Mike Media, he does video and things like that. But Art Dealer is a collective that Camouflage Monk started. If you look at and he has like all these different vinyls, you'll see the Art Dealer tag on there.
Okay, how'd that come together?
I mean, it was something that Camo wanted to kind of put together to kind of just use a platform to kind of help push all the artists that he fucks with. It's not like a label, it's not anything like that. It's just something to kind of, you know, bring just dope sounds together and just make a platform for, you know, these different artists to kind of push what they do.
Yeah. What do you have coming next on the art front for BMBOIC?
Word. So I have a drop coming up soon. I'm kind of like I mentioned earlier, kind of doing like a collab.
Yeah.
Jae Skeese with BNBLYC. We got a drop coming up soon. I'm gonna have a date soon.
Are you ever gonna release the machine hoodies again? You had the 101. That was one of the hardest hoodies that I've ever seen.
Because Machine, man, he'll see something that I do, and I'll wear it around him, and then when he sees, he's like, "Yo, I need one of them." And so whenever he asks for one, I just make sure that I make it as different as possible because I wanted to stand out for him. Like even I don't know if you saw the flannels that I did.
Yeah,
I did a 1-of-1 flannel for him, and it had the machines all going, or the little robots going down.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Word. So you know, I just try and make sure that his shit is always just different than everybody else's. Like, I mean, I would love to, you know, do a collab with Machine and make something happen. But you know, that's all. Hopefully, it's in the cards. You know, one of these days. But as of right now, it's not. It's not in the cards right now.
Well, that is crazy that you said a year ago you couldn't believe where you are. Like a lot has happened for you in a year. What is it like? Look at like if you could go back and look now. Like, is it unbelievable? Is it worth? Like, it must be cool that all this effort that you put in is finally paid off.
Yeah, man. I think about it like that. Like, you know, it's just like the fruits of the labor. You know what I'm saying? It's really kind of crazy to think about. That's why I try not to think about it too much because I don't want it to get to my head. Like I still wake up every day and I have a schedule that I try to follow. There's different things that I try to do every day. But I try not to think about it too much, man, because it's like, yo, who like goes and records music with one of the hottest artists in hip hop, probably the biggest group in hip hop, is on their album 2 times, performs on Tidal live, signs a record deal. Who does that? Nobody does that. There's not anybody that does stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's unprecedented, it's uncharted waters.
And I know you have no congratulations, but really, congratulations for all that shit.
Man, salute,
cool.
Man.
It's really awesome to see and to be a fan, and I can't wait to see what else happens. I can't wait to hear the album. I can't wait to hear what.
Man, the album is absolutely insane, and man, just stay tuned because you never know, man. It might be some other things that happen in between that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things. Like that's the thing with drum work, man. I'm starting to learn, and I've learned, but I'm learning more and more, is that things change every day. You get what I'm saying? So there's different plans, different opportunities. Shit just changes every day, man.
Yeah.
So, like I tell everybody, man, just stay tuned, bro, because it's a lot going on.
Yeah. And last thing, what do you think the hottest shoe out right now is?
Oof, hottest shoe out. I mean, the hottest shoe out right now is the Jordan 1. I don't even, I had a thing I say all the time, man. Separation of Jordan mids and Jordan highs. I always say that, and when I say that, I'm talking about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you know this, but with Jordan mids, Jordan highs, Jordan mids have 8 holes, Jordan highs have 9. The Jordan highs are it's just the better shoe. You get what I'm saying? They mass produce the mid. They don't make as many of the high. They keep the highs limited. So that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jordan high. I don't even wear Jordan highs anymore. I don't even wear them anymore because there's too many people who wear them because it's such a hot shoe.
What do you wear? Now, what's your walking around shoe?
Now, man, I go for a lot of Yeezys. I've been wearing a lot of Kanye's.
They're the most comfortable shoes. For
a fact. I've been rocking a lot of Yeezys, man. And I just been going back in my bag, like, different shoes. Like today I got on the Ben 5s. You know what I'm saying? Okay. These came out 2016 or something like that, but they got the all good leather. You know what I'm saying? Good leather, good white laces in them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just been going back, you know what I'm saying, and getting the shoes that I know people ain't really on no more. Because, like I told you earlier, I love being different, man. I embrace being different. I embrace being myself. And the reason why is because for a long time when I was growing up, even into my adult years, like my early adult years, I got a great friend group. But I've always been the person that has always had a different opinion, or I had a different outlook on things, and I would get chastised for it all the time. You know what I mean? And so I used to hate it. I used to like not like it. You know what I mean? But then I grew into it, like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, like my opinion is different, and I should embrace that because this is what I really think. I'm not just saying it or going along with the tide because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, when I started to realize that, I really started to embrace my different side. You know what I'm saying? Even with BNBLYC, there's nobody else really doing that. But it's different. This is what I like to do. So I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So it's like that in pretty much every aspect of my life.
Man, I really do appreciate you coming on. Last thing, take your vitamins. I'm a big proponent of taking your vitamins too.
Take your vitamins. I get on Twitter every day in the morning. Good morning, take your vitamins, and then in the afternoon, did you take your vitamins today? That's
you gotta take your fucking vitamins. Take your vitamins. Do you want to plug your social media and stuff before we?
Yeah, word. Make sure y'all go follow me, man, on Instagram, on Twitter at Jae Skeese, JaeSkeese. Stop by the BNBLYC joint too. It's at BNBLYC on Instagram, and then I have the website www.bnblyc.com, and make sure you also go and follow Drumwork Music.
Definitely check out his shit. It's amazing. Make sure to check out Asphalt Calligraphy and Subjective fucking humility, and also listen to Suede Uppers. And you got your new album coming out hopefully in the summer. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man.
Appreciate it.